Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Melissa Ochel, and I work at the Center for International Education at the College of Charleston. We are joined today by Matthew Kinney, who works at the Universite Catholique de Lille in France, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about what it would be like for a CFC student to study abroad on exchange.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for the introduction, Melissa. My name is Matthew Kinney. I am the project coordinator and project development officer at the Lille Catholic University, or Universite Catholique de Lille, which is located in Lille, France. I'd be happy to help you guys out with any questions you might have about coming abroad. But first, I'll give you a brief presentation on the university, some history, some key figures, and what ways you can come and study abroad with us. So you may be asking yourself, where is Lille located? So of course, most of you, I hope, know where France is, but Lille is a city that many people have not heard of internationally, although it does have a very important place internationally in terms of its geographic location and its history. So Lille is located in the northern part of France on the border of Belgium. It is a great location, certainly for students, because it's centrally located between many major European capitals. Lille is only an hour away from Paris. It's 35 minutes from Brussels. It is an hour and a half from London, and you can be in Amsterdam in under 3 hours. So its geographic location is certainly one of the major reasons that Lille attracts so many students. It is a student-oriented city. During the academic school year, we have over 100,000 students within the city, which also makes it very affordable. There are just about a discount at every place you could think of that's geared towards students, just given the amount of students that come to stay with us throughout the academic year. Lille is also what we refer to as a human-sized city. It's very easy to get around. We have a great public transportation system that consists of a subway, tramway, bus lines, and a free bike system. So it's very easy to get around the city of Lille. It's also very walkable. So if you don't feel like taking public transportation or using one of the bicycles, you can walk from one end of Lille to the other end in easily 45 minutes to an hour. So there really is a great way to get around and see different parts of the city. Moving into the university itself, the university was founded in 1875, so there's over 145 years of history. And what are some of the key facts? So the Lille Catholic University is France's largest private not-for-profit university. It is a federation, so it's made up of over 25 different higher education institutes. These include faculties, Grande École institutes. We even have a hospital group that makes up part of the university as well. So we're very strong in terms of certain healthcare and research aspects. We certainly have very tight links with regional public and political institutes, as well as many corporations. Here in Lille, there are some of the largest French corporations are headquartered, so a very strong in terms of international French corporations. Some key figures to know about the university. Currently, we have 36,700 full-time students. The university does have several campuses. Most of the students are here, however, in Lille, but we do have campuses outside of Lille, in Paris, and also in the south of France. However, for exchange purposes, we have all of our students here in the Lille campus. As I mentioned, we're made up of 25 different colleges and institutions, and we offer over 270 distinct degree programs. So there basically is course material available for everyone. We don't do dentistry and we do not offer veterinary medicine, but I think other than that, you should be able to find course material to fit your major back home. We have over 300 different student unions or student associations. Certainly something I always recommend international students to do is to find a student club that interests you, or multiple student clubs, and to join those. It's a great way to meet local French students. Also, there are many international student organizations, so you can meet international students as well if you haven't already met them through the orientations or in different classes that you're taking. As I mentioned, we are heavily focused on healthcare as well. The university owns 2 teaching hospitals. We have over 1,000 beds at one of the hospitals and also a 500-bed assisted living care facility. So very strong in the medical and nursing field. And we also are very heavily oriented towards internationalization. So we have over 500 worldwide partners. We always receive around 5,000 international students per year, and we send out 5,000 international students per year. So our campus in Lille is very diverse, very international, and I think that's what really gives the Lille campus some of the great benefits for students to come study abroad. So what can you study while you're here with us? As I mentioned, we have over 270 distinct degree programs. So the Lille Catholic University is very multidisciplined. We have 6 main areas of study. We have law, economics, business, and management. We then offer liberal arts, humanities, theology, ethics, and education. We have healthcare and social care. We have science and technologies. These are your engineering, your computer sciences, anything that has to do with sustainable development nowadays. We also have a very strong political science and international relations school. And then we have some new programs in innovation and design thinking. So lots of opportunities for you depending upon what you're studying at Charleston. A quick diagram to show you how the university is broken down. As I mentioned, it consists of 25 different faculties, Grande École, and different institutes. So a little diagram always helps. In the top hand left, we have all of our Grande École. Those are equivalent to very highly ranked Ivy League schools, if you will, in the US. We then have our faculties and institutes. We then have a hospital group. And then finally, we break it down into student services. So our student services section includes everything about housing, the 7 different restaurants on campus, the student health services on campus, our sports facilities, the student clubs, anybody who's interested in pursuing different faith interests can do so. Also, the different libraries on campus and the Career Center, which can help with internships or postgraduate interviews, things along those lines. On the campus, we're also heavily involved in research. So we do a lot of research in 3 different primary areas. It's what's referred to as the 3rd industrial revolution, also on innovative ecosystems, and then on different ethical and social models as well. Innovative teaching methods. So the campus, as most campuses nowadays are looking into innovative teaching methods, certainly digital and online methods, but we also do a lot of different educational workshops, distance learning, and we have a complete radio station, web studios, TV station, things like that that help in these particular types of teaching methods. A societal and energy transition on campus as well. This is one of our main strategic focal points for our city center campus. We are hoping to be carbon neutral and self-sufficient energy producer by the year 2030. So currently we've just finished rehabbing one of our main buildings on campus. That's complete with a solar power plant on the roof and sides of the building, which powers one of our entire city blocks of the campus. We're hoping to develop this to cover the rest of the blocks of the campus. But it's certainly one of our main focuses is that of becoming sustainably developed in terms of energy. We also do a lot in terms of connected farming and supporting the community in those means as well. So a lot of transitions happening around sustainable development on campus. So it's pretty exciting to see and witness firsthand. We also are very focused on the student experience while they're on campus. So yes, the academic aspect of what you're going to study and taking your courses and succeeding is very important, but we also like to provide education on some of the creative sides that people have. So we do have what we call our creative campus. This includes dozens and dozens of workshops that are available for students to explore anything from painting to sculpting to dance to anything that you could imagine. They're offering generally certain workshops for students that are either free or very inexpensive to participate while you're here on campus. I already mentioned that the university is very international minded, so we focus a lot on intercultural communication and intercultural education. We have a full linguistic training center. We have international faculty. We offer courses for a wide international audience. We have many foreign internships and study terms that could be available for you. And then we also have the internationalization at home, which is made up of our Lille programs and some other programs where we try to diversify as much as we can life on campus here, because not all of our students have the opportunity to study abroad. So we like to bring the study abroad opportunities to them. And that's where certainly you as international students help us. So we constantly organize meet and greets and different events for international students while you're here on campus. So how can you study with us as an international student? The most common way is through a study abroad program as an exchange student. So we have many international partners worldwide, and there are different exchange programs that exist between specific partners. So your first step is always to contact your home international office and see what are the possible ways and what can I study in Lille or elsewhere, depending upon what you're interested in. We also have direct enrollment programs. Those, however, are for students that are looking for an actual degree from the university, more common with master students that may be looking to come back after they've done a semester of their undergraduate and they're interested in getting a degree from a European institution, which would allow them to stay and work for a number of years after they graduate. And then we do have our Lille programs. The Lille online, we have all sorts of useful documents for you. We have an international brochure in English, which outlines all the different establishments, faculties, schools that you can study at, what the areas are. We have a list of all the courses that are taught in English. And then we have a list of the Lille programs, the short-term options for you as well, which can all be found on our website. I can now open up for any questions. And also there's the contact information for us through social media, email, etc. But you can always contact Melissa in your international office as well.
Thank you, Matthew. This was really great. I'm just going to ask a couple follow-up questions. Can you tell us a little bit about arrival, orientation, class registration, how that all works for students doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is going to depend on your primary enrolled school or institution. So for example, if you're a business student and you're taking your courses at ESEG, they're going to have their own arrival date, they'll have their own departure date, they'll have their own orientation session, and they'll also have their own way to register for courses. Some of the schools, it's all done online. Some of them, it's still done in person with an academic advisor here on campus that's going to go through the courses with you, and then they'll register you for those courses online and print off your schedule. But for the most part, it's going to depend on what your primary enrolled institute is. As an exchange student, you do have the ability to take courses at two different faculties or schools. So if you're a business major, you can take courses at ESEG, but if you're also interested in maybe French history courses or French language courses or political science courses, you can take courses at another faculty or school. The one thing is you just got to be careful that you don't overlap your schedules with those courses.
Related to that, I'm sure it varies quite a bit, but can you talk a little bit about what being in the class is actually like? Is it discussion based, lecture based?
Yeah, so here in France, there's two main types of classes. You have your lecture style classes. Most of the classes are fairly long. They're between 2 and 3 hours per class. You will, of course, have breaks during that where you can grab a coffee or something to drink or, get up and stretch your legs. But your lecture classes are exactly that. It's a lecture. There won't be very much interaction between the professor and the students. They're there to provide the information that you will then use for your second type of courses. And those are guided work sessions where the professor will be present. You'll do group work. You'll be able to interact with the professor. They'll have you working on a number of different activities. And the courses are made up of those two particular types of classes. And when you have your schedule, you'll see, okay, this week, Wednesday, it's a lecture. Next week, Wednesday, it's the guided working sessions. So you'll have an idea of whether you're going to be there taking notes for most of the time, getting all of the information, and then putting it to use the following week in one of the guided working sessions.
And how is a student's grade determined?
So a student's grade is going to vary depending upon the course. So what the professor deems will be class participation, will be class work throughout the semester. It will be on the final exam. Here we grade on a scale of 0 to 20, but we certainly provide what the equivalent is in the U.S. grading system and how it is to take the European credits. So what I can also add to that is here generally students are going to take between 24 and 30 ECTS credits. The ECTS credits transfer back. 2 ECTS credits equal 1 US American credit. So obviously 24 to 30 gets you your 12 to 15 full-time credits at a US university. And that equals out to be about 10 classes here. So students will take 10 different classes throughout their semester as opposed to 4 or 5. And the number of ECTS credits per class is based on the hours that they meet. So it's a little bit of a different style, but they'll have the ability to take a few different course subjects throughout their semester.
All right, great. And can you talk a little bit about housing and where students typically live?
Yeah, of course, I'd love to. So where we're located in Lille, the university itself is located in the city center. It's a 15-minute walk from the main square of the city, a 15-minute walk from Old Lille, which is certainly one of the most beautiful places in the city of winding cobblestone streets and old buildings and architecture, etc. So there's several options for students. We have on-campus housing and we have off-campus housing that's ran by the university housing office. That's generally what we recommend students do. It's guaranteed for all international students. So as long as you complete your application by the housing office deadline, you'll be guaranteed housing in one of the university residences. You also can look at private student residences. There's a number of those around Lille. They tend to be a little bit more expensive. So I definitely recommend going with the university housing. And we have all sorts of different types of housing. So we have simple bedrooms with shared amenities. So you share a kitchen, you share the restroom facilities, the game room, TV room, things like that. And we also have private studios where you have your own shower and bathroom and small kitchenette. And all that depends on your budget per month. And the budget is usually between 300 and 600 euros per month, depending upon the level of amenities you want at your student residence.
Okay, great. And is English fairly widely spoken in Lille? Do you recommend students take a French language course while they're there as well?
Yeah, so great question, because that's going to bring me back to the fact that I didn't mention that here at the university, we do have a lot of courses taught in English. So if you do not know French, we have enough courses to take fully in English. So speaking French is not a requirement for us for you to study with us. Plenty of courses taught in English. In terms of knowing French in general, it certainly helps, but it's not mandatory by any means. I think nowadays, most of the city, because it's a heavily student populated city, there's a lot of English that goes on. We're also very close to the English Channel. So there are a lot of English tourists that come through Lille all the time. So it's very easy to manage things here in English. We always recommend that students take a French language course, even if it's French for beginners. We offer that to all international students as they're here, and it certainly helps to start a little bit in French with some of the locals in order to have a better experience.
Okay. And my last question, what are some of your favorite things to do or see in Lille, and what do you recommend?
Yeah, so I did touch on the old part of Lille already, which is very, very beautiful. It's an area that I love to get lost in from time to time because I feel like I always discover something new. But our university is also located right next to a medieval citadel. So this was a little more recent than medieval, but it was an old military fort built by Vauban, who's a very famous French military architect in the 1600s. It's still a functioning military base, part of it, but it's also been developed into a great outdoor space, a beautiful park. The zoo has been built into it as well. So it's really a great place if you're into outdoors. It's where everyone goes to work out, to picnic, and things like that. So I highly recommend the Citadel area, Old Lille as well. Those are my two favorite places in Lille in order of sightseeing and things like that. So highly recommend those two spots.
Hey, great. Well, thank you, Matthew, so much for joining us. And I know our students are really excited to get back to traveling and hopefully headed to Lille very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Again, any questions, let Melissa know, and I'd certainly be happy to meet you guys in Lille, hopefully in January.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.